This is Todd Toback, and we got a special show for you today. We have Logan Deno, who was a U.S. service member serving our country and got his start all the way in Germany, wholesaling in the United States, 3 to 4 deals a month. Successful wholesaler today, but believe me, if you can get your start abroad in a different time zone while working for the government, I'll tell you what, you're going to love today's show. I can't wait to hear Logan's story, and it's going to be a really great episode. So before we jump in today's show, I got a reminder for you. If you're a wholesaler, you want to do big fat deals, if you want to know how to talk to sellers, head over to our website, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script, and download a copy of the Motivated Seller Script that we used to lock up over 1,400 deals. Also, I always like to kick off our shows sometimes when we have good news to share. And so I'm going to play a clip from someone from one of our coaching calls who is absolutely crushing it. So let's go ahead and take a listen before we jump in today's show.
How's it going, Todd? We had just got a new contract just right now. It's a single family home. It's in like immaculate condition. And we think it's worth $475 to $480, and we got it at like $411.
Awesome. Well, Logan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Todd.
So I always like to say, tell us your story and keep it short, like 2 minutes or less. Obviously, I gave everybody a little, taste of what is to come, but how did you get started in real estate wholesaling? And all the way from Germany, by the way.
Yeah, so basically I was in the military working, and then I decided to work abroad. So when I was working abroad, I heard about wholesaling, and I knew I wanted to make enough money where I didn't have to work abroad anymore. So I decided to move to Miami and learn real estate. I got a mentor. He taught me how to wholesale, but I needed enough money so then I could invest into the business. So I went back overseas to Germany, and then I got your course. Once I got your course, I had the confidence to be able to close deals over the phone, to be able to lock sellers up verbally, and I hired a VA. So I hired a VA, got your course, and then we just started closing deals because now we know the proper way how to, work them through the sales process.
Sure. Well, we're going to rewind, by the way, and I appreciate everything that you said about the no limit selling system. We'll talk more about that. But we're going to rewind, right? Because there's a lot there. Someone's listening to this like, whoa, Logan, you let out some really juicy stuff. So are you telling me that before the pandemic, you had never done a wholesale deal?
No, I had done, but I only had done 3.
Okay. So you had done 3 deals. So I want to hear how you did your first deal from Germany, right? Okay. So how did you find this first deal in Germany? What lead source did you use to find that deal?
So I had a VA put a list of properties that were absentee owned, that have been at least 10 years of ownership, that were like 1960 to like 1990.
All right.
And we happened to get a lead that was elderly and sickly, and they needed the speed and convenience and the patience as well to get the process, started.
Well,
but
slow down there. Was this a direct, did you text the lead? Did you call the lead? Was it a direct mail lead?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a lead that we had texted, and then we got on the phone and
Good
closed.
Okay.
And once we got the lead under contract, we just kept working the process. They were a C. Actually, they were an S. They were somebody that you had to handheld through the process, and they really needed to be nurtured.
Okay.
So
by the way, so for everybody who's listening, right, you're talking about the 4 personality types, DISC.
Yes, sir.
Right. So for our audience, can you describe what an S is, like kind of in detail, and why that's so important?
Yeah. So S is somebody that they need to be handheld throughout the process. Somebody that they kind of need you to guide them to the next steps.
Right.
They're not too sure of what the next steps, and they'll go as long as you tell them what the next steps are.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for that. All right. So you had this S, someone who needs the guiding, and someone who needed our help, right? They're elderly and sick, right? Was the property vacant? Did they live in it?
Yeah, so they had not a tenant, they had a relative living in the property, and it was just us just narrowing down when we can get in. The biggest issue was getting inside the property. With them being sick and always being in and out the hospital, they didn't have time to let us in.
Right.
Once we finally got in by saying, you know what, we'll give you our phone, you take the pictures and just give us the phone back.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And we got the pictures, and then we was able to use that to market it, and then we got it sold.
Okay. That's really, really interesting. So instead of farting around with technology, you're like, just take my phone. You don't have to text it to me. You don't have to email it to me. That's like, I love it. That's breaking through barriers right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just had to get creative.
Sometimes the easiest answer is, the most simple answer is the best.
Absolutely.
So how long were you kind of working that where you couldn't get pictures? I'm just kind of curious.
A month.
Yeah.
At least a month. Yeah.
So you're like, oh, forget
sure.
this, right? Just take my phone.
Yeah, but it was a juicy deal. And at that time, I had never done a 5-figure deal. My biggest deal was like 4,000.
Right. Oh, well, thank God you started listening to this podcast here, right? You're getting out of 4-figure hell.
Oh, yeah. I actually discovered you on Brent Daniels' podcast.
Okay.
I mean, on his on YouTube.
Well, that's great. So you got the deal, right? You got the pictures, you sold it. What did you sell this thing for? This is when you're in Germany still or no?
Yeah, I was in Germany. It was, I think, it was maybe like 25, 27, but we double closed, so it was 25, but I JV. So I walked away with 14, and who I JV walked away with 11.
Okay, fantastic. So let me ask you, so how'd you get your, just curious, you're in Germany at the time, right? How'd you get your phone to the seller?
I had a guy that I used to work with in Miami that went to go take pictures, and basically he handed his phone through the door.
Okay, great. So that the other thing that I think is great is obviously you're using, and I want everyone to listen to this. Like, you got no excuse if you want to work in an area, and my preference for people is that they're in the market, they're meeting with sellers belly to belly. But you can certainly do deals virtually, right? And so what you're doing is you're using, right, people who can get belly to belly, so you can get those advantages, right, without having to be there. And so I loved how you use that contact, your resource, using everything at your disposal. So great disposal. So awesome job, right? You got that first check, right? Got out of 4-figure hell, 5-figure paycheck. I love it, right? What was next? You proved that you could do deals virtually. Tell us a little bit kind of where you decided to take the business from there.
Okay, so actually the domino effect, it was like all the seeds that I had planted was fertilized, and it was starting to come to fruition.
Yep.
So I ended up closing six deals in a row, made 60,000 really fast. It was like in 6 weeks.
Right.
And this was in the heart of the pandemic, and I was overseas working a full-time job, 60 hours a week minimum. Right. So basically I just decided that I wanted to keep working at my job and wholesaling at the same time until I had enough where I could quit. So a year after that, I quit my job, and I've been full-time ever since August of 2021.
So let me ask you this. What do you say? First of all, congratulations, because you're working 60 hours a week at your job. Is that what you said?
Your minimum.
Okay. Yet somehow you found a way to do 6 wholesale deals.
Yes.
Right? I think a lot of people out there, if you're listening to this, you're like, I don't have time to do this. Right? Can you speak a little bit to that? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth right there, but what do you say to people who say, yeah, but I have a job, or I don't have time. I'm working all day? Because 60 hours is a lot a week. How did you find the time? And what do you say to those who don't have the time?
So I would say it's your mindset and your reason why. You got to build your mindset before you build your skill set. So you got to keep affirming things, having the vision clear, believing in yourself, and surround yourself around people that are where you want to be and that know more than you and that can help you grow. So that's the biggest thing: your environment, your mindset, and then also your reason why. Who are you doing it for? Like you said, what's going to be the benefit if you do it? What's going to be the consequence if you don't do it? Keep reminding yourself why you're doing it. If it's about motivation, it's going to come and go. But if it's discipline, it's going to hold you accountable. So That's the biggest thing. And when you're working a job, you got to take your notebook, have your phone while you're on your breaks, when you can get your lunch break, and when you have downtime, even at your job. You got to learn. You got to learn, and you got to have systems in place. Like I had a virtual assistant help me pre-qualify all my leads.
Right. That's
So I
huge.
was
You know,
using
I
my
tell
job.
people, by the way, one of the best things that you can do if you're going to hire someone next to a VA is you can hire, obviously, a lead manager. And that person can actually get you to $1 million a year. So that is just so, so, so good. So what does your business look like today? And where do you want to go?
Okay, so now I have a lead VA who also is a VA manager. So she has a team of VAs. So we do our own in-house skip tracing, our own in-house list pulling, and we do mass text campaigns. So we constantly have deals in the pipeline. We're doing 3 to 4, but I want to get to 10 deals a month.
Right.
So I just want to hire more people to delegate and to scale up the business. And it's exciting because really also what I'm looking to do is transition to commercial wholesaling, which I love how you say it's the same contract, just add a couple of zeros. Yeah, so that's the goal. So more within residential and also scaling to do commercial as well.
That's awesome. All right. Well, if you had 1 or 2 pieces of advice for somebody getting into this business, what would it be, Logan?
Get a mentor, 100%. You have to invest in yourself and have a very strong reason why and clearly define your reason why.
Oh, awesome. 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 Well, thank you, Logan. Appreciate it. Love having you on the show. Remember, head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. Download the script today. Totally free. Gotta do it. It's proven. And if you want to lock up that big, fat, juicy deal or your next one, it's right there for you. And I'll talk to you on the next episode.